Dublin Airport is considering plans to expand Terminal 1 to accommodate more planes and up to 4 million additional passengers per year. And Eoghan Corry, editor of Air Travel magazine, joins us now. Eoghan, what are we talking about here in terms of Terminal 1? Are we talking about a bigger building or an add-on building, or what's it going to look like?
Good morning, Ciara. Yes, we're adding on to Terminal 1. The Dublin Airport listeners will know is a sort of a big C with down in the south is where Terminal 2, all the Aer Lingus flights take off from. Terminal 1 is more to the north. That's where the Ryanair flights take off from. And post-pandemic, we have seen the pendulum swing north because Ryanair, like before pandemic, would have been about 43% of the traffic through the airport. Now it's way up. It's up to 58%. So what we're talking about is making that sea a little bit longer in the north and possibly demolishing some of the hangars that are there to add on something like 6 extra gates. Not a hell of a lot, but any of the listeners who've been through the gates used by Ryanair, the 100 gates particularly last summer, will know how crowded it gets up there.
Yeah, it can be absolutely thronged. Is this a good idea? I have no doubt there will be some objections to any expansion in airport traffic.
Infrastructure on the airport is going to come under pressure. We have a second runway which took a long time to put in place. It's underused, but there's no doubt we're going to grow. The aviation business, if you stand still, you're going backwards. So they need to plan for this 5 million extra passengers just effectively to stand still economically, to keep Ireland functioning economically. So they really have to look at their terminal capacity because that's seriously under pressure. Runway capacity, we're basically where we need to be for the next 20 years or so. But the terminal, traditionally the terminals were the original 1943 Desmond Fitzgerald one, then the Leo Carroll one in 1971. We had a whole lot of little bits being added on and gates being put there, and a bit like my mum's bungalow in Kildare. Things were added on over the years. So to get an actual planned terminal with proper gate structure is really important.
In this case, then, Eoghan, this sort of satellite building that they're going to put onto Terminal 1 to add a number of gates, how long will that get us? If you say we have to keep moving forward, how much future-proofing is in this expansion?
Not a lot of future-proofing, but it'll get us to where we need to be over the next 4 or 5 years. What they've done in recent years is they've put a sort of a satellite terminal. Listeners will know the dreaded Gate 335 where you're bussed out, and that cost 22 million in 2017 to get 5 extra gates. It's going to cost a lot more to get the 6 extra gates. At some stage, they're going to have to sit down and think of a third terminal.
Okay. Maybe lastly, before I let you go, Ryanair boss Eddie Wilson has warned that we're going to see problems this summer again, that Dublin Airport does not have sufficient staff in place to deal with the holiday rush. What do you make of it?
Ryanair and Dublin Airport, they joust a lot on this. There's a lot of questions about the number of security lanes that are open. What's going to happen with those great new scanners when they come in that will allow us to keep the laptops in the bag? There's some suggestion that some of the lanes will have to be removed. The staffing issue, Dublin Airport say they're on top of it. They have about 700 in place. They'll have about 850 for the summer. They're looking to bring that up to 1,000. But any time that things start going wrong in Dublin Airport, Ryanair are going to be the first to jump on it and say, get your services in order.
Are they right though?
Realistically, the services broke down horribly last year, end of March, end of May. I do think the security side of it is going to be okay. I'm not sure everything else on the services, the cleanliness, the baggage hall, where one of the subcontractors seems to still have problems. All of those things are going to be seriously tested at the summer. And you've got to remember, Ciara, Easter was quite a bit busier than people were anticipating even 5 or 6 weeks before. People are booking much, much later post-pandemic, makes it harder for airlines and airports to plan.
Right. Look, thank you very much for speaking to us this morning.
Always a pleasure, Ciara.
Editor of Air and Travel magazine.